My boyfriend thinks my breasts are too big. He gave me 500,000 to get reduction surgery. Just then, a mysterious person transfers me 5 million with a note saying don't listen to him. Gripping my phone, I secretly message my boyfriend's best friend, if you want me to listen to you, money alone isn't enough. He replies instantly, what are you talking about? I don't understand. Me, never mind then. I'll head to the hospital. He panics, what else do you want? Are you 18? I'm 24. Prove it, show me. Later, he showed me what he meant in person. I'm Lin Wenru, girlfriend of Beijing's Crown Prince Xi Weixi, though not for much longer, because I plan to teach him a lesson. You might ask, why I don't break up with him properly before seeing someone else. This is entirely Xi Wei's fault. He complains about my figure, and keeps pushing me to get breast reduction surgery. What's worse, he's been flirting with other girls, behind my back using alt accounts, so after careful consideration, I decided to make him wear a green hat before breaking up. Before going to bed, I post my first face reveal on my account with almost 10k followers. Caption, looking for a hot guy who's drama-free. Requirements, 511, 18 plus, 6-pack abs. Within half an hour of posting, my follower count skyrockets, approaching 100k. Among the flood of compliments and selfies, one DM catches my eye. Don't you have a boyfriend? How does this person know I'm not single? I click on their profile, same city as me, black profile picture, no posts, bio only has 8 characters, small wins lead to big victories. For some reason, I have a strong feeling, this person knows me. Could it be Xi Weixi? That would ruin everything. As I'm debating whether to reply, they message again, have you considered your boyfriend's feelings? Even if you want someone new, you shouldn't look online. There are lots of scammers online. Be careful not to get trafficked overseas as a casino dealer. I'm now certain this isn't Xi Weixi, but from their tone, they must be close to him. Who could it be? Looking at their username, it seems oddly familiar. Scrolling back, I realize they've been liking my posts for a while, sometimes even leaving comments. Even Xi Weixi doesn't know about my account, yet this person has been following me for so long. Could they have feelings for me? Testing the waters, I reply, want to try dating me? The message shows read immediately after sending. My curiosity is fully piqued. I've met most of Xi Wei's friends, who could be secretly crushing on me. After a few seconds of silence, I receive a stream of messages. What do you mean? You want me to be your boyfriend? Stop joking. I'll be honest, I'm good friends with Xi Weixi. I would never betray him. Alright then, goodbye, I reply. After sending the message, I exit the chat and go straight to bed. First thing next morning, I check my DMs. Just as expected, not only has he sent a flood of messages, he's even tried voice calling me. What's with the goodbye? Explain yourself. Are you serious about finding a boyfriend, or just acting out? Come to think of it, I might not be a bad choice, but I won't be the other man. You need to make things official. Why aren't you responding? Are you asleep? Or are you chatting with other guys? 1 missed voice call. I said I'm willing, don't look for anyone else. 2 missed voice calls. If it's about being the other man, whatever. Xi Wei's no saint anyway. He went to a maid cafe in Japan behind your back. 5 missed voice calls. Are you there? It's late, get some rest, good night. A few minutes later, he sends a heart emoji followed by an absolutely jaw-dropping abs pic. In the photo, he's lying casually on his bed wearing casual pants, his long legs stretching beyond the frame. In natural light, his skin has a healthy tan, veins visible on his muscular arms, his slender fingers positioned provocatively. Talk about pure seduction. I quietly save the photo, thinking to myself, he's actually pretty hot. While I'm freshening up, the doorbell rings downstairs. The housekeeper opens it with an exclamation. Wenru, come down quick. There's a huge bouquet of roses. Roses, how cliché. I take my time heading downstairs, walking over with feigned disinterest. I glance at the card, suddenly notice a jewelry box nestled among the roses. Opening it, I find my bracelet. This was the last gift from my father before he passed. After his death, when the company faced financial troubles, I had to auction off all my valuables, including this bracelet. I remember it was bought by a foreigner for nearly 3 million. Xi Wei's friend actually tracked down the buyer, and got it back for me, fighting back tears. I open our chat. I received it. Thank you for bringing it back to me. Could I have your bank details? I can't afford that much at once, but I could manage monthly installments over a year. I don't want money, I want you. I expected him to refuse, but not so directly. My fingers hover over the keyboard as I consider how to respond. Just then, a call comes in. It's Shue, is reminding me about his friend's birthday party today. Don't dress too revealing, and wear your chest binder. It looks better when they're smaller. I agree to everything, then immediately pick out a low-cut evening gown from my closet. When I arrive, Shiweze is laughing with a group of people. His face changes instantly. When he sees my outfit, he quickly pulls me aside. How could you come dressed like this? I ignore Shiweze, looking past him into the distance. Amid the wandering, ambiguous glances, I unexpectedly lock eyes with a pair of deep, dark ones. Ji-Boda sits alone in the corner, gazing at me through the noisy crowd. For some reason, I'm frozen in place, unable to move. Ji-Boda breaks eye contact first, then downs his drink in one go. He seems to smile briefly before returning to his usual aloof expression. Thump thump thump. My heart starts racing. At the same time, an absurd thought flashes through my mind. Could he be the one? I quickly dismiss the idea. Ji-Boda has always been cold and distant since I've known him. He seems uninterested in everything. Whenever I greet him, he just nods faintly. He's extremely sparing with words. Far from liking me, I always felt he disliked me. Lin Wenru, cat got your tongue. Say something. Shiweze waves his hand in front of my face impatiently. I furrow my brows and pull away from Shiweze's hand. Don't you think I look good in this? As I speak, I deliberately push my chest out. Shiweze looks like he's about to be sick. I step closer, and he immediately covers his mouth, rushing to the bathroom. Shiweze has megalomastophobia. Pretty weird condition, right? Even weirder is that despite his inability to handle large breasts, he still desperately pursued me back then. As for how I discovered his condition, it all started with a recent hotel encounter. I was finally ready to be intimate with Shiweze, who knew he'd pass out at the crucial moment. I splashed cold water to wake him up. Under my murderous glare, Shiweze finally confessed. He said he actually prefers supermodel types, slim waist, long legs, small chest, and except for that last point, I matched his ideal type perfectly. Everything clicked after his confession. No wonder he kept asking me to wear chest binders. He claimed it was because he was worried others would stare. In reality, he couldn't handle it himself. After coming out of the bathroom, Shiweze approaches me with shifty eyes, bringing up the surgery again. Before I can respond, I receive a text from an unknown number. Your body is perfect. Shiweze is blind. Don't get the surgery. It's him. I bite my lip and finish my sparkling water in one gulp. I text back, bathroom, want to meet. He seems startled, taking forever to reply. Are you sure? Of course, this is too sudden. I'm not ready. Fine then, if you won't go, I'll go alone. Wait, I'm coming. Got him. I excuse myself to Shiweze. Just as I'm about to stand up, the private room door opens. Looking up, I see a pregnant woman standing in the doorway. She looks around, clearly searching for someone. Probably another case of some rich playboy knocking someone up. I wonder which jerk pulled this stunt. The next moment, she walks straight to Shiweze, crying and demanding he take responsibility. Now that I see her up close, her figure is exactly Shiweze's type. Though I no longer have feelings for Shiweze, I can't help but be angry. After all, I'm in the middle of cheating. If anyone's going to make him wear a green hat, it should be me. I thought Shiweze was just flirting online, but he's already about to become a father. Rising from my deathbed in shock, turns out I'm the real clown here. In our circle, face is worth more than life. Without giving Shiweze a chance to explain, I slap him hard and walk out without looking back, completely forgetting about meeting the mystery man in the bathroom. On my way home, I get increasingly frustrated, and decide to head to a bar instead. Getting dumped, plus failing to cheat while getting cheated on. I'd be doing myself a disservice not to drink. I go to Shiweze's regular bar, and tell the bartender to bring out all his reserved premium liquor. I invite everyone present to drink. Only after emptying Shiweze's stock do I feel slightly better. Several strong drinks in, my head starts spinning. I glance at the person sitting next to me. He looks like Ji-Boda. Is he drinking too? That can't be right. I remember Shiweze saying Ji-Boda doesn't like places like this, though I see him every time I come with Shiweze. Are you okay? He asks with concern. I must be too drunk. Seeing hallucinations now, I shake my head hard, but I lose my balance and start falling backward. Before I can cry out, I fall into strong arms. The embrace doesn't last long. He gentlemanly helps me to a chair. His fingers flash before my eyes. Somehow, this image overlaps with the distinctly knuckled hand from that abs photo. I must be going crazy. To clear my head, I order ice water. Reaching for it, I accidentally light up a phone nearby. It's not my phone, but the lock screen is my photo, from the angle. It's clearly a candid shot. I wake up in bed, looking around at the furnishings. It's my room. So, was I dreaming? But I definitely went to the bar and drank a lot. I can't remember anything after getting drunk. When the housekeeper brings hangover soup, I ask, who brought me home last night? She seems excited, saying it was a tall, handsome young man, much more handsome than Shiwedza. She adds before leaving my room, honestly, Shiwedza isn't bad looking. To say someone's more handsome than him, his handsome yet aloof face flashed through my mind. But he definitely didn't seem like the type to harbor secret crushes. A guy like him could have any girl he wanted. The more I speculated, the more confused I got. Screw it. I'm checking the security footage. After setting the right timestamp, a Bentley with a repeating number license plate appeared on screen. As the driver opened the door, I saw myself peacefully nestled in Bo Das' arms. He politely greeted the housekeeper first, then carefully lifted me out of the car as if I were made of glass. After laying me on the bed, he snuck what he thought was a subtle kiss on my forehead. Oh my God. I slammed my laptop shut and grabbed my phone to check my DMs, my face burning red. A good morning emoji from Bo Da had arrived an hour ago. While I wasn't a fan of playing hard to get, teasing him a bit couldn't hurt. My first message was bold. I've seen through life's illusions, and sworn off love forever. He panicked immediately. Don't do that. Please believe true love exists. Don't let some jerk ruin everything. I played coy. You and Shiwedza are close friends. I don't want to come between you. Who's friends with him? If he wasn't always forcing himself into my space, I wouldn't give him the time of day. Shiwedza's a total creep. I'm cutting ties with him right now. Not a moment's hesitation there. Satisfied, I sent him a sweet emoji, and asked if he'd missed me. I did. Prove it. A photo. I opened it unsuspectingly. The next second, I nearly dropped my phone. Bo Da. Have you no shame? Instead of denying it was him, he simply recalled the photo he'd just sent. Sorry, wrong picture. He added a puppy emoji with big, watery eyes. Yeah, right? I shot back, rolling my eyes for good measure, completely missing my sarcasm. Bo Da responded with a huge heart emoji. His directness left me stunned, and I couldn't help asking, what I'd been dying to know, when exactly did you start liking me? He replied instantly, the moment I first saw you. No way. You looked so cold the entire time. It was impossible not to notice Bo Da with his striking looks. I spotted him right away and thought he seemed intimidating. In my 20-something years, I'd never felt my heart skip a beat until I met you, and you were someone else's girlfriend. Hard to smile about that. My cheeks flushed again as I typed and deleted message after message, unable to find the right words. When I didn't respond, he worried I was pulling back, and launched into full-on self-promotion mode. I've been an overachiever since day one. I had the most gold stars in kindergarten. Throughout grade school, I was repeatedly named Student of the Year. Top universities fought over me, and I maintained a full scholarship all through college. Plus, I'm athletic, in great shape, and have zero bad habits, and am great at taking care of people. Though I don't have proof of that one yet. So, would you give me a chance to turn that subjective claim into objective fact? He ended with another puppy emoji. It was kind of adorable, but I wouldn't be swayed so easily. Sweet talk was one thing, but following through was another story entirely. When Shiwedza was chasing me, his words were just as honey sweet. Look how that turned out. I should know better by now. As I was trying to talk myself out of it, my phone pinged. A light payment received, 5,201,314 yuan. Well, that's certainly a creative way to flex. Wait. Speaking of money, I still hadn't cleared up the bracelet situation with him. What's with the transfer? I still need to pay you back for the bracelet. He paused before repeating his earlier words. I don't want your money, I want you. While I was still speechless, he added, once we're together, you'll handle all my money anyway. Sincerity was always the ultimate killer move. Turning down a gorgeous guy who's basically throwing money at you. Now that's a real test. After 10 seconds of internal struggle, I decided to follow my heart. Fine, you can try to win me over, but no guarantees you'll succeed. I won't give up until I do. He ended with a puppy emoji wearing a red bandana. Looking at the adorably dopey puppy on my screen, I couldn't help but burst out laughing. Bo Da was a man of action. When he said he'd pursue me, he meant it. The next day, as soon as my hangover wore off, he asked me out. He dressed casually today, the light brown fabric making him seem much more approachable. Getting into his car, I suddenly remembered being cradled in his arms yesterday. My heart started racing. Bo Da didn't notice my thoughts wandering. He was too nervous himself. When he's nervous, his expressions become harder to control. Without a smile, his face carries a natural aloofness. But if you looked closely, you'd see his ears were bright red. Here we were, both in our mid-20s, acting like awkward teenagers, though Boda barely said a word the whole time. Hanging out with him felt nice. Plus, he'd picked a restaurant that was exactly my style. While waiting for the car outside the restaurant, an electric scooter headed straight toward me. Boda instantly grabbed my hand and pulled me behind him. This was our first physical contact of the day. The scooter rider glanced at his speedometer, showing barely 5 miles per hour, then at Boda. Before passing us with a knowing smirk, I couldn't help it. I burst out laughing. Boda laughed too, his grip on my hand tightening. Just as we were about to get in the car, the driver brought around. Someone called out my name. I turned toward the voice and saw a face frozen in shock.